So just a few technical questions about the property. Has Armatec purchased the property?
No, it has not.
Does it have a conditional offer in on the property?
Yes, it does.
Is that conditional on the rezoning, the reassessment, the Aboriginal archaeological assessment, and the noise report all being acceptable to the municipality?
It is conditional upon the property being approved for development, which in turn requires that all those studies be accepted by the municipality.
What's the proposed time frame for that ballpark? It's just an estimate, please. I mean, the expectation is that the rezoning, it's unlikely that the rezoning will be approved on the March 3rd meeting. That's simply
correct.
A public meeting.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Could you tell me where Armatec is currently testing their products?
Yes. These kind of tests are being done now at a site near Valcartier, Quebec, and a site out in Suffield, Alberta, and sometimes in other places, but primarily in those two locations. The reason that they're looking at this site here is because it is in proximity to the London facility, and number one, and number two, because there's such a waiting list, relatively, and there's a waiting list on those government facilities, as was explained earlier.
So besides Armatec, who will else be testing on the property?
Question in the front here.
What's the residential proximity to the 3 sites you just identified that are doing the testing at now?
The Valcartier property, he wants to know what's the relative proximity of the testing facilities to residential development in other areas. The answer for Valcartier, Quebec is 500 meters. There's a village right beside it.
There is a village named Shannon right at inner circle, what we have here. And out in DLDC Suffield, there's nothing. The other site where we test, the government tests our products is in the US. So it's about 1.5 kilometers, the same about here. The problem with these government test sites, they have 2 years plus wait times, and then it's too late.
Okay, the lady here in the white.
Is there either test?
No, hang on a minute. This one lady behind you, then we'll get to you, okay?
From my understanding, the research I've done and the client I have who lived in Meaford, that there's a Meaford tank testing state-of-the-art facilities available. Why are you not doing there?
There are different ranges in Meaford.
Can you repeat the question?
I repeat the question. So the question was, there is a state-of-the-art facility in Meaford. Why are we not going there? Meaford is a D&D facility where they do their own testing. We were able to secure 1 test slot about 2 years ago, and since then they are booked out. We can't use it, and the same is with Petawara and other places. So we try to go and test there to stay ahead, but it's just impossible to have the technology available to the customer with these wait times.
And what about the other facility that's over by Pembroke?
Exactly the same thing. It's a D&D facility, not accessible to private industry. It's only if there is an exemption and political pressure to be able to get in there, and it's too late.
I see. I'm a realtor in Bancroft, and I suppose it took me 5 minutes to find a piece of land that's 1,050 acres with absolutely no one around, and it's $500,000. It would be cheaper for you. You wouldn't be bothering any residents or retirees that bought here 40, 70 years ago.
Like what you see here on the template, we need a topography and we need more than 2,000 acres.
Well, according to your realtor who I talked to the other day, he said that this property was actually larger than what is required for you.
Because we want to put the extra safety buffer in it, the extra distance to keep the noise low. That is a requirement.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Next question, this lady here in her hand up.
Hi, is there any other test site that close to a vacation property and a lake?
Pardon me?
Is there any other test site that you have that's that close to a lake and an area like Benwell?
The sites are all quite different. What is important, and I want you to remember this, is I understand that you're concerned the proximity to the lake, but this is a huge property. The development site is very small, and we have demonstrated, and will continue to demonstrate, that the impact on Benor Lake is going to be infinitesimal. It just is, and you know, you can believe it or not, but that's why Carl has selected this site, because it's large enough to provide you with the kind of buffer for noise and that will not impact you in your properties on Benor Lake.
Okay, well, please, can you tell us more about that track where the testing is, because that's 500 meters from Benor Lake Road. I want to see it on a picture, how big it is, and
Yes.
what size the vehicles are going to be, and the noise.
We can certainly absolutely do
My
that.
grandkids walk up this road with me, and if I can hear that, and there's not very many trees for a buffer there, believe me, there's only a few. So I'm really concerned about that. So I think that's
Okay, the lady's asking about the location of the test track and the distance to Benor Lake Road. And, sorry, there's another part to that question.
yeah,
Oh, the buffer and the trees, yeah, there is, you want to know more, sorry, I just had seniors more there. You wanted to have more information about how the track
how
operates.
loud that's going to be,
Yes.
and how big that track is, and the exit and the entrance for that track.
Absolutely.
That property.
Yes, it won't be coming in off Benor Lake Road,
I know
okay?
that.
So, I won't do that right at the moment.
Okay.
Maybe we do have the specifics, it's on one of the boards, it shows how the track is laid out there. I think someone, no, that's not it. But anyway, we have the details on that, and that's the kind of specifics that's hard to get into right now, but by all means, we can provide you with that information. Okay, let's go over this way. You have one for you.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes. Good point.
Can you guarantee that no forest fires of any size will result from any of the activities that you propose?
What I can tell you, first of all, is that the test area is going to, immediately around the test area is going to be, there isn't going to be vegetation there. Okay, so
It goes through the ground.
immediately surrounding the test facility, so there's, and beyond that, I'm going to hand it over to Carl.
Yeah, about these things we have to do the precautions about all from template size, fire, all these things, and there is a test plan for each test, and the test director, he has to go through his checklist and he has to follow, number one, all the government rules and also our internal rules. And we make sure, and because we couldn't afford any incident, accident or anything like it, it is our biggest interest to do that. The best reference to speak about that is our record in the past, our reference. And for the last 17 years we're doing that, we didn't have an incident. We are incident free on the blast range as well on the ballistic range. And that is about taking extra care.
Have you seen fire happen before? Maybe not from yourself, but from someone else.
I have not seen from ourselves what other people do, which are careless.
So there's no risk? No risk whatsoever to us?
From our work, no.
There's a gentleman over here. Please, hang on. Hang on. They have a question over here, this gentleman.
Yeah, I think my question is more for Carl. That is more around the expansion. Today your plan is so big. You've got 4 facilities on the property. What's stopping you from going to 10 in the future? What's stopping you from going from a survivability to more of a offensive?
Yeah. So that is the reason for this zoning application, because that defines actually these signs. So if there would be any expansion in the future, and that is why we went through this effort to bring it now out in public and say, that's it, because that is what we applied for.
Until you rezone, right? Until you rezone again.
And that basically, that is a process we go through, and so if we want to expand, we would have to go through the same process again.
But you're already on the property, right?
Who monitors that?
Everybody.
Because we have to say.
Karen's just going to get the board that shows the areas that are going to be rezoned. I don't know if that's going to help you. It's the green one, Ken, the one that Peggy just did yesterday.
So the second part of that question was, is there anything stopping you from going from a survivability to an offensive company? Can that
my morals. So I do that my whole life, protecting people. And that is how I started it. That's why I started it out of the basement, because nobody did it before. So, if there is somebody else doing offensive stuff, I can't hold them back. We put it on our mission statement, and the whole company stands behind that we are passive survivability company, and our mandate is to save lives.
The other way to answer that question as well, which is more regulatory, is that the zoning bylaw can specify that it is in fact just, or will specify that it is exactly what we're asking, what we're talking about. The other part of the process, which we haven't applied for yet, is called site plan approval. And in that site plan approval, the details of each of the sites that I mentioned, the 4 sites, will be laid out in great detail. We don't have that detail yet because we're not there yet. That in the process of planning, you go from official plan to zoning, and then once you have those in place, you get into the details of the site plan. But I think someone here at the front made a good point that you guys are there, living there. If somebody was doing something contrary to the zoning on the property, just like if your neighbor started doing something that wasn't supposed to be done, I'm sure the word would get back to the municipality. So, you know, you guys are watchdogs. This is the board that I was speaking about.
I didn't come here to watch tanks. I came here to sit on my dock and enjoy life.
So you won't be saying the tanks?
Yeah, you hear what I'm saying, Lord?
Okay. No.
No?
No.
Or this one?
I can't see it from here, so... No. It might be the same, I don't know.
Explain to us where the fence is going to go.
So,
Where's the fence going to go?
the fence is going to go around...
There?
The fence is going to go around the testing facility.
That's it.
The other thing that's in the plan, or the protocol that has to be followed, is that before a test is done, there is a physical sweep of the entire area to make sure that there are no animals and no kids and nobody else in that area that could be harmed. That is one of the requirements of the testing, okay? So if you're worried about whether your kids take off and sneak into the property and get up close to the fence, they won't be, because the staff at the site will make sure that animals and stray kids and whoever else are not going to be in any way in the area where they could be harmed, okay? But a question here, then we're going to go over there, and then we're going to go to the man in the red shirt. Go ahead, sir. And then we'll come to the back, sorry. Okay? Yeah.
Just further to your point here, if all of this goes through, you own the property, it becomes a lot easier to come in and try and rezone to expand your operation. We go through this thing again, it's your right to expand, they have to accept the application, your words, right? So we go through all of this again. I'm just wondering, Carl, if you would, if your company would enter into a written social contract with the community, undertaking that you would never expand that operation, assuming it goes through, but you would never expand your operation, full stop, and that there would be financial penalties or something else that we would craft as a social compact. Is that something that you'd be willing to consider?
I can entertain such a suggestion because we try through the whole process to be upfront what we're doing. That is why we called this meeting and want to show it today. Practically, we did about 10 of the big ones last year, and we basically put in this application as a rough order of magnitude to do 30. Each test to set it up is probably between 6 and 9 months of work at home to make the test coupons. There is no more, we can't handle more. So this requirement what we put up here for the test frequency, that is absolute tops. So I could entertain such an idea, and we have to sit down and talk it sensibly through.
Yeah, I just wanted to speak, aside from the cottage benefits that are lost, what about the immediate depreciation of everybody's property, essentially, that's going to happen from this? Like, I don't know if this is for council or for Armatec as well, but I don't know how this economic transaction makes sense. Like, if we're talking from an economic standpoint, everybody's at a loss. I'm from Toronto. All of my friends have called me talking about what's in the Star. We have a rental property on Benor Lake. People are backing out because it's just real estate's based on perception. And I don't know how this makes any sense whatsoever.
absolutely right. Real estate is based on perception, and right now in the Star and on Yahoo and wherever else you look, there are the stories about bombs going off and animals and the upset on the North Lake, and so that it's not surprising. It's not surprising that there's some people who are nervous, okay? I mean, we know that. That's why a lot of people here are upset today. The thing is that if this thing gets approved, the facts that we've been telling you about the separation distances and the level of noise will matter, sir, because this whole process will become a...
I'm not concerned about the specifics. I'm concerned about the immediate...
What I'd like to finish my answer with, sir, is that you will forget the fact... I'm getting there, okay? You'll forget the fact that it's even there. Remember, we're not doing the heckle thing, we're not going back and forth. If you don't agree with my answer, that's fine, I'll go on to the next question.
You're not answering.
I did answer as best I could.
How much money are you going to lose?
There's no way of measuring that one way or the other. Okay. Yes.
Okay, so they're in the business of making money, but you're influencing...
Hang on!
I'm talking to this dude.
I don't want you to talk to that dude right now, okay?
Look at that over here. Yeah, he's the one who came to us.
Well, that's fine, but it's just
Over there.
Guys, stop it.
okay, this is not going to work. We have people who have questions that have not been answered. We are not going to get in. That's fine. Now we're getting to you.
No, you said you were going to go over there, and that was it.
Oh, come on.
I had my arm up.
Okay, you're in the line. No problem.
What about Armatec being a privately owned company in the business of making money, but you're influencing everybody else's lives and depreciating their financial situation for the benefit of Armatec? Like, I just don't know how this makes any sense whatsoever. You're saying all the right things politically, but it doesn't make sense to us financially at all.
I understand that there's no way that I can convince you of this. I understand that. What I want you to take away, sir, okay? What I want you to take away is the ability to continue to ask questions, to look at the information, and to understand when the noise report comes out, when the archaeological report comes out, when the Natural Heritage report comes out, that the perceived impacts that you are all so worried about will be addressed. I can tell you that. Okay, you don't have to believe me, I'm a planner. I understand that. But the studies will be done, they can be peer-reviewed, and in the end, it will become clear to you that what we are saying is true, and that there will not be an impact. Well, that the perception is being generated in this room based on facts that may or may not... Anyway, I'm going to move on. I'm not going to get into it with you, sir. I'm going to go on to the next gentleman.
Yes. My real interest in this has been stated earlier, but you made a comment about the area being cleared before the test of all animal life, and you're going to clear all the fauna out of there.
No, that's not what I meant, sir. What I meant was that the staff will go through the woods, and if they happen to see a group of deer grazing in the woods, they will shoot them away until such time as the test is
Guys, please get this question answered, okay?
I just give you an example.
No, answer my question. Don't give me an example, please. How are you going to clear the animals and everything out of the area?
Actually, we have to stop and halt the test. I can tell you a story last year what happened. A bird landed on the test site. Everything is on camera. And we watch all the parameters. We had to stand down until the bird decided to fly away. That is in our test protocol.
Okay, question. I've been on the North Lake for 25 years. Over my 25 years, I would say that I've seen 5 newts or salamanders. Do you know what they are?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Are you going to go around your test area and the buffer zone look under every rock to see if there is a newt or a salamander that needs to be shooed away?
I can answer that one, sir.
I know it sounds silly, but
No, it
that's
doesn't
what
sound silly. Newts and salamanders are species at risk. Some of them are, and what the environmental study will be looking at is looking at where there is habitat for those particular species and other species. If there's an area that is identified as vulnerable, habitat for vulnerable or endangered species, the work won't go on in that area. We'll have to find a different location. That's on the site. So that's why the environmental study is being done, and with Paul Heaven, who is here, it's going to be his responsibility to do that, okay? Let's move on to another question.
It's the same issue.
question?
I want to alert you because I'm also a friend of wolves, okay?
Okay.
In 2004, the Minister of the Environment banned the chasing of wolves within the 31 townships of...
I'm going to say,
Okay,
I misspoke on chasing away the deer, and
okay.
Carl rolled his eyes, and I understand why. But
You're the spokesperson on this environmental issue. You want to change it? Change it. Because you'll be changing your tactics. You'll be changing your words the further you go. Okay?
No, I don't understand. Anyway, let's get on with another question.
You don't like the question.
Sir, are you at the back with the ball cap and the sun?
My dog can't chase.
Sir, thank you.
Does Armatec have the engines in the airplane, sir?
No.